Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Country Chats podcast. I hope you're all keeping well and staying safe. Things are thankfully starting to look up. There's a few gigs coming up across Ireland and England over the summer. I think we're going to get out dancing, or at least at a concert or drive-in soon enough. So things are looking good. I'm feeling positive over here at the podcast anyway. As always, I'm here every week talking to different artists and singers and dancers and whoever else I can get on. And today is no different. I have a man from County Tyrone here in front of me. Lee Matthews is live on Zoom with me here. Lee, how are things?
I'm great, Sandra. How are you?
I'm not too bad. All good. I love sitting down for these chats. It's like meeting someone new every day or every week. It's great fun. It's like going for coffee dates with loads of different people.
I know I'm in the comfort of my own living room here, so it's just very chilled out.
Yeah, I know. I
suppose that's
tell you, you make your own cup of tea. You don't have to pay for it, and you can sit down and relax. With the now, we definitely have the heat on today because, as we were saying before I started recording, the weather is awful, both in Mayo and up in the north.
it is, and it's nearly summer, which is it's scary.
Yeah, you're there in the t-shirt though. You look quite warm.
It's actually, you know what? It's the weather's bad, but it's actually pretty warm. I'm always warm. I'm one of those people. I'm the opposite. A girl says it's always cold, and I'm always warm.
There you go, warm-blooded,
That's it.
hot-blooded. Yeah. So how are things? I mean, look, obviously we won't talk about COVID too much, but things changed for everyone. But actually, you're kind of busy the last few weeks because you have a new song and a new video out.
Yeah. Basically, it's something that came about. Was it late last year, early January? Um, Everyone in the music business didn't know what was going on, to be honest. And everyone's going by these restrictions and stuff like that. And I've always been behind the scenes, like writing music and stuff uh, since the first lockdown. But it was only in January I decided, now's the time to put something out there. And there was actually a grant that came out for artists in the north through the Arts Council, and they would fund some recording of songs and stuff like that. So I actually, thank God, I got awarded that grant, and I went into the studio, went back in with Jonathan Owens, and I released "I Think She Likes Me." Just was it last week, 2 weeks ago, and that for a lot of people, that's the first they've probably heard of me in years.
Yeah, I'll
Since
be honest, it's been a while because I feel like once upon a time you were everywhere and you were bringing song after song and they were all brilliant hits, like, and they were being played, and I know I used to play them at my dance classes, and then you kind of disappeared on us for a while, but you're
yeah,
back.
I took a hiatus.
Yes,
I went
well
off into the
deserved, well
I went off
deserved.
I went off into the desert with a backpack, and no one's seen me since.
You were finding yourself.
Finding myself, nah. But you know what it is? It's kind of like, I think the last track I had out before that was Marie, and that was 2018. And I made an album along with that as well. And basically, I was touring right up until uh, I think it was the start of the year that obviously 2020. It was I toured up to about January, and then with the whole coronavirus, it just kind of knocked everything back. And like everyone else, they spent a lot of time at home, and no one really knew what was going to happen. And we don't really know where everything's going. I know everything's opening up very slowly here. Hopefully now we'll be back out in the concerts in the next few months. I know a lot of the venues are only going to be doing like half capacity and stuff like that, so maybe it mightn't work for a lot of the bands. But you know, hopefully now the worst is over us and we can get back to doing what we all love.
Yeah,
And for
no,
me,
I
that's me. For me, that's performing and
yes.
releasing songs.
And when you were
It's hard.
touring right up until COVID, was it Irish touring, or were you in the UK, or where were you kind of all over the place?
Basically, I would have done the normal country circuit like a lot of the bands. Yourself, I see you do all the dancing and stuff like that. So we would have done all like the dancing venues and stuff like that around the country. Uh, mostly up in the north side, and then in the last few years we would have been down more towards the west and east of the country. And obviously in the past I've been over to Scotland and done gigs overseas as well. But we didn't just exclusively stay on the Irish scene, so I would have done like different kinds of shows. Like we did an MTV weekend show in Ebrington Square in Derry a few years ago, and that wasn't really strictly country, but there was different acts from different genres on there too. So we would kind of like do all that kind of stuff because my my live shows, I kind of play a variety of music. So I play the Irish country stuff. I play obviously my own songs, and then I would do maybe a medley of something like a rock melody or pop melody or something like that. So, but basically, your question was basically about where was I touring. That's basically what I've been doing. So up until then, I was doing all that, and then just stopped.
Yeah. So even though so as you said, your last song that you brought out was in 2018 with Marie, but even though you weren't bringing music out, you were gigging constantly, you were on the road, you were touring around, concerts, gigs, festivals, whatever was going. Yeah. And how does it feel now? Obviously, it's great to bring out new music again. And how do you feel now bringing it out 3 years later? Do you feel different than you would have before, or is there a different buzz?
Sorry, I'm trying the hot chocolate here. But at least hot chocolates get cold very, very fast.
Do you know what? This is probably my most laid back podcast ever, because the two of us are here with the cups of tea. I don't know if there's any Villa fans, Aston Villa fans listening. If you're on the video, you can see my mug. I'm very proud of my Villa fandom. But yeah, we're very laid back with our cups of tea. I can't even remember what we were talking about. Oh yeah, the buzz. Is there a different feel now after so long bringing out this new song?
Do you know what I've noticed? Because I'm not a big social media person. I would probably be somewhere in the middle of, like, a lot of the older artists wouldn't really be that active on social media, and then you've got a lot of new young artists coming through and they're really active. I'd be kind of in the middle, but I try my best.
Where do you put yourself there? It's like you're saying the older ones, you're not definitely not old.
Yeah.
And well, for someone that may not do social media,
maybe wiser. Old is the wrong word. Wiser. That's the word I'm looking for.
Well, you're
the older generation.
Too bad, because you've 30,000 followers on Instagram, is it? Or like
I don't even keep track. I don't even know. As long I just go on to see the people writing to me and stuff like that. But yeah. So I see myself somewhere in the middle of that. But you were asking about the change. What I've noticed is there's so many new artists since the time 3 years ago when I did my last song. There's so many new artists, and a few of them I recognize, a few of them I don't know. But it's great. It's great for the scene because they're all younger as well, and it's like new blood coming into the scene.
And I think they're getting younger every year. I suppose I'd be going to. I'm on the dancing scene, God, about 10 years, like plus. Yeah, and like back then there was probably only like 1 or 2 teenagers. Now there's a lot more coming up the ranks, 17, 18, 19-year-olds. It's getting much bigger. Thank God.
It's good for the scene, because it means the scene's going to keep regenerating through the ages, and these young artists will bring a different style to it, and because obviously you don't want the thing disappear. You want it to keep repeating over and over again. When it's good for the scene. But that is something that I've noticed. I've noticed that there's new artists out there, and obviously the song I brought out, was kind of, it's like something, I don't know if people thought, is it a Lee Matthews song or is it something different? But it's kind of got a bit of everything to it. So hopefully people seem to be liking the song so far.
It is. I was listening to it just before the podcast, just to get into the Lee Matthews vibe. And no, it's a nice feel good song, and it's nice and kind of up. It's just happy, isn't it? It's got happy. A nice little beat to it.
Yeah, people need to be happy because it's been such a negative year. A lot of people have been suffering with like a lot of stress and depression and stuff like that. And I think we all just need a bit more positivity in our lives, definitely. And it's something that, like, a lot of my songs most of my songs is kind of like I try to make them feel good. But that one is a happy little song, and I've actually got another one which I actually wrote last year, and it's all been recorded and everything. So it's going to be the summer track.
Great. So we can all look forward to that.
It'll hopefully be out in end of July, August.
Okay, good. Okay,
it'll definitely be out. It'll definitely be out by August.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, you've heard it here now, guys. It's coming out. This episode will be going out some stage end of May, early June. So that gives us plenty of time to tell all the listeners. So you can keep an eye out for that. And I don't know if you can tell us or not. I mean, what's the plans going forward then? Are you going to keep releasing new music again? Are you kind of back in that frame of mind or album? I know you might be able to give everything away.
I've written quite a few songs. The 3 songs. So the first song that came out with I Think She Likes Me is actually a cover of a song from the 90s, which was I love this song. There was a guy called Billy Gilman, and when I was we were both around the same age, and it was actually a relative of mine from America gave me this album when I was the same age as him. I think I was a year older than him, and I was just like, "Oh, this kid is amazing." And he did that song, I Think She Likes Me, on it, and he actually covered the song as well. But so that was the first song I brought out. I says I'll bring a cover out first, and then I've obviously written 2 more songs that I've already recorded. Which one now will be the one in August, and the next one I don't know when that'll be, but every one of them is completely different.
Yeah, which is good to have a good mix. Like
they're all different, but they're not different. Like not one isn't like heavy metal, and the other one's like country. They're all country, but I suppose this next one is more in the lines of Cotton Eye Joe kind of a song, or Farmer Wants a Wife. It's kind of in between the two, maybe.
Good. So I can look forward to a good dancing song. So
oh, it's definitely a good dancing song. It's a good dancing song, and it's a good like driving in your car if you're a country fan, feel good kind of a song as well.
Yeah.
So
oh, well, I like that. Sounds all good to me. And you know, one question that comes to mind actually, and I always mean to ask people this. I always wonder. So you said the song you have out at the moment is a cover. Whenever an artist wants to do a cover, do you have to ask permission, or can you just record whatever you want, or how does that work? I've always wondered, and I've never asked.
Yeah. So the legality of it is, if a song has been released officially, anybody can cover a song. You don't have to ask for any permission. But usually the record company that you're with, or the publishing company. So whenever a publishing company looks after like royalties for writers of the songs, so they would collect royalties on behalf of the person.
So like Cotton Eye Joe, for example, good song, but Fred, you didn't write that one. So
actually, this is the thing. Listen, the Cotton Eye Joe, right, is actually 200 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so the song Cotton Eye Joe is 200 years old. Stop. It's actually, there's nobody credited.
I was going to say, no one's getting royalties for that.
But I actually wrote, in my song, I wrote all the verses myself.
Yeah.
So those verses are actually me that wrote those. But the chorus is an old folk song from the 1800s.
I never knew it was that old.
Yeah, so because I remember people saying to me, "Oh, it's not like the original," and I would go, "Oh, well, what's the original?" And they would think, "Oh, it's the Rednecks in the '90s," but that was just a dance remix. If you actually go back, Ricky Skaggs and people were doing that song for years. The Chieftains, that song has been around for a long, long time.
That's
you know what
mad.
I mean? It was So the dance song was obviously very, very popular around the world and stuff like that. But there you are.
Yeah, that's mad. So you can literally you can pick any song you want and record it, and there's no problem.
There's a bit of trouble sometimes if you want to change things.
Okay.
If you take someone's song and you just do something crazy with it, or you change lyrics, I think there's a process to that, but I haven't really been in that situation yet.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on how big the song is and how big the artist is.
It is,
yeah.
It is.
Yeah. No, it's just that I've always wondered about that and never thought to ask it. So there we go now. So you can kind of do what you want, but you might get caught depending on how popular the song is.
Exactly.
No, that's really interesting actually. I don't know how I got into that. Just asked the random question.
It is a question that a lot of people have asked, a lot of people
because I was thinking even like, do people have to go and like email the likes of Shania Twain or Dolly Parton and say, hey, can I, not quite as simple as I've just put it, but do they have to get in touch with Dolly Parton's publishing company and say, can we use the song? Or that's so interesting. There we go.
I think back in the day, like people would have just sort of like, I don't know, just trying to be nice, maybe have contacted the artist, but a lot of artists are too big to contact. So I think the law is there for basically the likes of people. Sure, look at the many people on YouTube that's making covers of songs, and artists can't track down every one of those.
Yeah.
What usually happens is whenever you upload a cover song onto like a platform like YouTube, you'll get a thing straight away saying that a publishing company, like something like BMG are now controlling the royalties for this section of the song. Yeah, it comes on straight away, and when you go into your private account thing, so that's how it works. So it's all switched on. Everything's on the system.
That is mad. Now I know myself. I done Zoom dance classes during lockdown, and I had a Facebook group that I used to pop the recordings into so everyone could watch them back. And every time I would put up a video, it'd say, sorry, this song is copyright, and the beat. I'm not sure, they'd never tell me what song, of course. So I wouldn't know which song, but it was always the American ones. It was never the Irish songs. It was always the American ones. They always pulled me on that. But sure.
That's so annoying. A lot of people, I know people have been personal training. They were doing fitness videos, and their videos just went off as well because of that.
Or it mutes. The video
Yeah.
keeps playing, but it totally
Yeah.
mutes, which is, and you don't know what songs are copyright until you have it done. So
I know. It's
it's a
crazy.
bit of a nightmare. But look, so there we go. If anyone else was wondering, how do you have to ask to perform songs or cover songs? No, you don't. Well, you can, but you can if you want. You can be really nice.
You can cover as many Lee Matthews songs as you want, and I won't get them taken down. Don't worry.
There we go. There we go. You're safe there. And I suppose you write a lot of your own anyway, so you're not always doing covers and looking for you're not always having to get down that route. But there we go. I've learned something new. So that's that side of things. Do you know, everything I've wrote down, we kind of talked about, I think. But I mean, look, you've been singing for years, but you weren't always into the country scene, were you? Or were you? Maybe not.
I started. I'm 32 now. I'll be 33 in June. I started singing when I was 7, and I released my first album when I was 8. Believe it or not. So I actually started. Yeah, I started. I was a country singer. My mum used to bring me to all the Highland radio concerts, which was in Donegal, which would have been the biggest radio station local to us here in Tyrone. And I sang with Hugo Duncan. I sang with Brian Call. I sang with everyone. Daniel O'Donnell. I sang at Daniel's house at the Mary Dundaloo Festival, Kincashla. I was on BBC with Hugo and Friends, all when I was really, really young. So I did the country circuit when I was young. And then.
And were you a bit of a, and I don't mean this in a patronizing way, but you were a bit of a novelty then, I'm guessing, were you? Because you were so young and there wasn't anyone else young at that time.
I had a wee squeaky voice, and it's always very hard for like young artists, because you never really develop until your voice kind of breaks, and then that's when you become an artist. It's like we were talking about that Billy Gilman kid that did the song that I covered. Like he was really successful, and then when he got older, his voice broke. He never really had a strong career after that, and he ended up in The Voice America 2 years ago. And people are like, "Oh my God, I remember you." So it's very, very difficult for someone to like sustain a child career or a career after being a child kind of singer. But as I say, there is a novelty to it, because everyone's looking at you. Oh, this little kid, all cute little kid getting up and singing. And they're just happy. They're just happy to see you up there singing and stuff. But I suppose for me, I was always learning. I was picking things up, and I kind of grew as a person and an artist because I did that. So it was great experience to be doing that from such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously now I'm back at the country. I came for full circle, because after that I went in a complete different route altogether. I was in a band and record deals and stuff like that, and lived in America, lived in London, and I came back here in 2013. Released City's got our new dress on at the end of that year, and I haven't looked back since.
Isn't it mad? And when you were in the bands and that kind of thing, what genre was that, or was it a bit of everything?
The first band I was in was called Streetways. It was an international boy band, so it was basically, another Backstreet Boys kind of a thing. That's what they were going for. And I was from the north of Ireland, and then there was another guy, Donald Skane, who's now a chef.
Yeah.
And Donald was from the south of Ireland, and there was a Swedish guy, there was a American guy, and then an English guy, Lee Hutton. And we basically we were constantly in London, and then we flew to New York and stuff, and we did all these different things. And then we went to Orlando, Florida, and we met the manager of the Backstreet Boys, who then managed us, and he basically wanted to change the band and change the lineup. And some of the guys that were originally in the band left the band, and I continued on. I lived over there, and I did all that for a few years. Ended up back in London again. It was just such a wild one. It was so crazy, because it's like I'm in the music scene at the minute, but what I was doing there was completely different. It was more like what you kind of see artists doing, when you're watching like behind the scenes things and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff we were doing. We were constantly in cars, going to studios and stuff.
There we go.
I know.
For anyone that is watching while he was talking there, I decided to do a little YouTube search, and it's true. He's not lying. It is true. It is fact. Yeah. So for anyone that's tuned in on the video, for anyone that's listening on Spotify, I just held up a picture of Lee from the boy band.
Two things there. That hairdo was not my doing at all. So don't
It
blame
is
me for
real
that.
though. It is real.
It is real. It doesn't look real though. That's the thing about it.
And was there just 2 Irish lads and then the rest were English lads, was it?
There was but when we actually did I think that's from Childline in Dublin.
Yeah, it is. 2007.
When we did that, when we did that show, that was after. So Donald was in the band he was in the band, and then he wasn't in the band the time we did that. So when we did that, I was the only Irish guy in the band. And that was when the Backstreet Boys manager was managing us at that stage, and basically so it's crazy because you're talking about YouTube. YouTube wasn't even a thing when we were in that band.
2007. Like, I remember sitting down. What was I? 2007. I was 14, 15, 14. Like, I would have sitting down watching that. Like, that was like, I used to record it. Oh my God, isn't it mad? And the white gear.
It's crazy. I know we were all dressed in white.
I'm still here watching it. Jesus, I'd want to turn it off.
I don't know whose idea it was. I think when you're in a boy band, because it's so manufactured, you're just told, do this, wear this, get on stage, and you're just okay.
And how long were you in that band?
I was doing that for years. So that band then became another band called Access All Areas, another crazy name.
You got a bit older then, was it? And then you called it Access All Areas. It wasn't PG anymore. There was no white. Turned into leather, was it?
I know, leather, falling out of clubs late at night and stuff. Nah, it was none of that. But it was funny. It's crazy how those things go, but they're so short-lived when you look back. But some of the best memories I had was in the band, and I still keep in contact with a few of the guys, which is really good. But everyone like now is grown up and they've got kids and everything, so time moves on.
That is mad. And when did that band finish, or how long ago was it since? Was that just before you came back here, or?
So the last time I actually seen any of the guys in the band and we officially ended was in 2011.
Which isn't that long. 10 years. That's not that long ago, really.
No. But we have a group chat and we like talk and stuff like that, which is great.
2007. That was Childline. So yeah, you were together. Wow.
I know.
What's the group chat called?
I think it's.
Are you allowed to tell us?
All Access Areas or something. It's something like that there.
Yeah, it's a play on the band. It's the band name.
We'll get hijacked now. We'll get hacked now.
Oh, stop. You haven't been hacked or anything yet, have you?
Oh, do you know what's an absolute torture? I was talking about social media earlier on. Constantly getting tagged in like fake accounts on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you know what's annoying? If you're I'm actually verified on Facebook, but I don't know.
You have your blue tick.
I don't know how. Maybe I don't think I'm on Instagram enough. I think you have to be constantly on posting day to day to get verified or something like that. But if they verified me, people would know that it was me.
You should be verified though, because you've 30,000 followers. But I sound like a right creep. But what happens is before I interview somebody, I always just go onto the social media and see is there anything I don't know, and that's how I know. I don't like sit and look at your Instagram.
I'm probably not verified. I'm not famous. I'm not famous enough. But
you'll have to give them an email, and we'll have to start a petition now to get Lee Matthews verified.
Start a petition. The only reason why it's good to be verified, because then the people don't, all these fake accounts, and they write to people. I hope people's not gullible enough to believe, I'm your long lost uncle and send me £30,000.
What? I define that too. Like if somebody sent me a message from a Lee Matthews page and said, hey, I'd be like, or anyone famous or any singers or any well-known personalities, I would be like, here. Like, but some people apparently are a bit gullible.
People send me, and the guy's it's called like Lee Matthew. It doesn't even have an S at the end of it, and it's like follows 5,000 people, 2 followers, and they're like, "Is this you?" And I'm going, "Well, it's obviously not, But
no.
But I'm just saying, I hope people I do hope that people don't send these guys money. I don't know what they're asking for.
I know.
It's crazy that it's such a dangerous world online now.
Well, the reason I was asking you, because I know a lot of other singers in the scene had been hacked and lost pages and lost accounts.
I've seen that. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many: Barry Kerwin, Shauna McStravock, Claudia Buckley, Claudia Lawler, David James. That's just like off the top of my head. Like, it's scary and it keeps happening.
It's crazy, and I don't know. I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but I've seen a lot of people that have been hacked. And it must be very frustrating, especially people that are building up their fan base and stuff like that. And it's because you do need social media. Like as I say, like I'm trying to get more involved in Instagram and stuff. And like TikTok, my son's on TikTok all the time. He's mad about that. And I'm trying to get kind of. I don't know how it works, but I love watching some of the silly videos on it, like the dog ones and stuff like that.
I'm
But
the same. I don't
it's
really understand it, but I can
yeah,
scroll. I can
yeah.
manage that much.
You know, when I first saw it, I hated it. I was like, "What's this here? This is really annoying."
Same. Oh my God. I couldn't get over it. I was just like, no, I was like, no, I don't like it. It's not for me. And
Yeah.
now I
No,
have it.
no, you probably like me. I sit at night time in bed and I'm looking, and I
Yes.
realize, hey, I've been sitting there for an hour looking at stupid dog videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm the one that posts videos because I have a puppy. So I post
Oh, right,
them.
there you go.
You know the little have you seen the Mario Kart one where you line up the treats on the floor and in a like a squiggly line and then you get
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dog to do it? I've done that. Like
yeah.
that's yeah, maybe I'm a bit old for that. But anyway, your
I
son is
just,
what age is your son? He's probably perfect TikTok age.
he's 9. He's
Oh,
9.
go.
He actually has like I think he's over 1,000 followers on TikTok. Yeah, something like that. But I think he's got, I don't know, likes. I don't know how it works. You see, there's a
Yeah, it's
like thing, and then
different.
there's followers.
So he's more than you anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah. I only like basically made one video like 3 days ago or something like that, because I haven't got a clue how it works.
We'll have to go and see is it any good.
I know.
So that's Jesus, how do we get on to that? Oh yeah, I was not asking about the hacking. We better do this quick fire round before I forget.
Go
I
for it. Go
warned
for it.
you about it at the start. So I have about 10 questions here, short and sweet, one answer, two answer job, kind of whatever comes into your head straight away. And it's all just a bit of fun and a bit of crack.
Is there a timer? Is there or something
No,
like that?
well, no, but kind of quick, you know. I don't want too many gaps. But we'll see how you get
Right.
on. So this
Let's
is
go.
the quick fire round with Lee Matthews. Lee, who is your favorite American singer?
Oof. Um, Gary LeVox from Rascal Flatts.
Oh yes, I've seen Rascal Flatts live.
American country singer. He's my favorite American country singer.
There we go.
Him and Zach Brown.
Yes, two good choices. What is your favorite country song to listen to?
Fast Cars and Freedom, Rascal Flatts. That's my favorite one.
Do you prefer to perform a jive or a waltz or like a faster song, an upbeat song or a slower song?
Faster song.
Can you dance?
No.
You sure?
When I was in the boy band, I was you know, the
Oh,
guy
you
stands
have
in the
to
back and
dance.
yeah, no, but I was the one that like stood there and the guys around me dancing. They made me look good because I just
So
stood
you
and did
just
like a
kind
little.
of swayed.
I just yeah. Like when I just did an arm fold or something like that, and they would do like the back flip in front of me. So I was one of those guys. I haven't changed. I can actually. I'm a great dancer with a few drinks in me,
I was going to say you're a
mind you.
choreographer's dream. So when you were in the band.
No, I
Uh,
dance that I cannot. I'm not a great dancer, but I'm okay. I'm okay,
you
but
have
not.
rhythm. We know that much.
Yeah,
Who is your favorite Irish singer or band?
yeah. Well, the Water Boys are kind of half Irish, half Scottish. But do you know who I actually love? My favorite, the High Kings. I think they're great.
Yes, they are.
I love the High Kings.
I love the Water Boys too, though. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
both of them very good.
And Christy Moore. I
Yeah,
love
sure.
Christy Moore.
Who doesn't love him? Do you prefer to perform at a concert or dance?
I dance
Why?
because people are having more fun, and you know, people are more happy and they're talking and they're when you're at a concert, it's kind of everyone's sitting in silence.
Yeah,
I
it's up
suppose
to
they're
you to
listening.
get them going.
It's up to you to get them going, but it's kind of like I kind of I feel more alive when people around me are alive as well.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's hard to sing a real fast song when you're in a concert and people are all sitting down because they can't really get up to enjoy it. So I prefer the dances and like outdoor concerts,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
festival kind of a thing. Yeah,
I get you. Yeah. What is your favorite venue to gig in, or the best gig you've ever done?
best gig I've ever done. Um, that's a tough one.
Childline
I'd
2020.
have to say Challenge. You know what? I have to say because like I got the chance to play live in front of 10,000 people at the point and Challenge, and that was the point before the point what it is
Yeah,
now the three
I
arena.
love the old point. I really
Yeah,
loved it. Like
it was
that was a
it was
great
there was
venue.
actually the way it was built. There was such a great noise of coming from the
Yeah,
crowd of it, but now it's kind of changed because you're up on the balcony and stuff.
yeah, I'm not
But
mad on it now.
I do love the three arena. I wouldn't mind playing the three arena now. Don't get me wrong, but there was just something about the fact that I got to play there, and obviously I could say the Late Late Show too with my band. That was a dream come through for me. So those two were definitely the number ones shared.
And with regards, kind of, I suppose, the social dance scene, have you a favorite venue in Ireland that you like to perform at? You know, like the likes of the Mellon or the McWilliam or the Allingham. Is any of them that just your favorite one?
I love them all. I really do love them all. Like, and there's sometimes when you go down south, like it was great. The first time we ever went down south to the Mallow, the hazel tree. People would have said, "Oh, you have to play an older program down there," you know. But some of the people were so nice, and the crowd's always offered, and even down the west of the country, all the dance venues down there, you can't really pick one out because it's unique. Every one of them is unique.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
They're all my favorites.
Good answer. Stay neutral. Who is your biggest fan?
Oh, there's a girl called Lisa who follows me, and she's been there from the very, very start. Lisa and Geraldine, and there's loads. There's so many fans. I can't, there's
There's
loads.
A few that always stick out, and
there is a few always stick out, and I wouldn't forget about anybody. There's loads and loads of people there that's been there from the very, very start, and fair play to them, and they're all. But I see Lisa on every day, and she's always tagging me and stuff. So I'd say Lisa's doing a great job. She's constantly on there, saying she's streaming my songs and stuff like that. But everybody plays a part. I couldn't pick anybody out in the crowd.
That's good. Well, I'm sure Lisa will be tuned in. So hello, Lisa.
Oh, she will be.
She will
Lisa.
be. Good stuff. Do you play any instruments?
Yeah, I do. I play guitar. I play drums. Not very good, mind you. But that's why I don't play them in my band. But I strum a bit of guitar. But when I actually grew up, when I was really younger, I was told to learn the cornet. It's my little brother Chris. He's learning now at the minute. But I think I was brutal at it, to be honest with you. But I don't know why they make you learn those things. It's like the recorders.
Yeah, random that you're never going to use in life.
I've never heard a recorder in my life in any song.
And even as a musician, and I'm a musician too, I still don't appreciate it.
I think it's the most silliest thing.
At least it's at least if you learn the tin whistle, there's some purpose for that, but not.
It sounds 10 times better straight away. You know what I mean? The recorder is like, oh. Yeah. But I strum a bit of guitar. Do you know what it's great for when I play the guitar? Because I'm not a good guitarist, but
when you're writing, though, I could say
when I'm writing music, that's exactly what it's for. And then when I get on stage, a lot of the country songs, people in different genres of music always make fun of country music that are called the 4-chord country or 3-chord country. So because most songs are 3 or 4 chords, which is true because a lot of my songs are that. So that's probably why I get away with playing it on stage, because a lot of the songs I write are those 3 or 4 chords.
Yeah.
But that's all I do. So guitar and a bit of drums.
Very good. And the recorder.
A new it's number one.
You should bring that out now for when the touring gets back. You'd be the first one to do it. I mean, in the country music scene.
Do a whole album. Lee Matthews on the recorder.
Oh, I can't even process that. That'd be bad. What is your favorite local radio station?
Do you know this? I never ever listen to the radio anymore. And when I do listen to the radio, it's by accident. When I listen to
podcast,
Spotify. I don't listen to radio, and I do not watch TV.
I don't watch.
I watch football. That's what I watch.
That's
football
the way it's gone now, isn't it?
Football, Netflix. I binge watch series, films, and I never watch TV, and I never listen to radio.
Yeah, I never sit down and watch live TV anymore. It's always pre-recorded.
Exactly.
Netflix. Yeah, that's
what kind of shows are you into at the minute?
So I just finished Suits.
All right, very good.
And I just finished Desperate Housewives. I just finished both of them in a week. So I'm like, and I'm nearly finished Peaky Blinders. No, I'm finished Peaky Blinders up to date. Of course, Villa coming back into it. Love my Birmingham. Peaky Blinders. I actually watched Game of Thrones.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be me. What about yourself?
That's a real throwback, the Desperate Housewives, because I remember that being on when I was 16, 15, 16.
Tuesday nights, RT1 at 9:30. And I remember watching it every week, and I hadn't watched it in, 10, 12 years. So that's what I done the last, and it was great because I was nearly at the end and I was watching it on Amazon Prime, and my subscription was up today, and I literally watched the last episode last night.
Oh, well, there you go. I watched I'm desperately waiting for Ozark season 3 to come out.
Okay.
I love that. I love the real nitty gritty kind of shows. Ray
So you into
Donovan.
Line of Duty and all that kind of thing?
No, I haven't seen that, but I heard everybody on about it. But it's definitely, that's one I have to get watching next, because I just finished The Crown.
Oh yes, The Crown. Oh my God, yes, and down
Yeah,
to the other two.
it's very good. It was crazy though. I don't want to wreck it for anybody, but when halfway through when they changed the actors, you're like,
Oh yeah, I prefer the old ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was a few shows like that when there was a show I watched before too, where then season 1 was like a certain amount of actors, and then they just completely changed the whole thing in season 2. It throws you off.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm a diva though. Do you know what I do is, if I can't, you know how obviously the suspense and you're waiting to see, and then it'll end on an episode and you're waiting for the next one, I Google everything so I know what's gonna
Oh
come up.
yeah. So
Or like
you wreck it for yourself.
I do, but in Game of Thrones I had to, because for Game of Thrones I spent half the time like that because I couldn't deal with it. Yeah. So yeah, that's so short answer. No, we didn't even know. The question was, what's your favorite local radio station?
Oh,
And the
Highland
answer
Radio.
is
Highland
Netflix.
Radio, Netflix. I'll say
Netflix.
Highland Radio because it is the Highland Radio was the big one for country music, without a doubt. And there's some great new DJs on there as well. And obviously, a good friend of mine's Pio McCann was a DJ on there, and he passed away sadly this year. And Pio, we were talking about interviews earlier on. He always would have had me on for an interview. And it's just sad that didn't get the chance to get on with him this year, but it's crazy. We've lost so many great people in this scene this year. It's very, very, very sad.
No, it has been sad, especially when they can't be sent off like they deserve, and you can't have that proper funeral. Unfortunately, no, it has been tough.
And Pio, when Pio actually passed away, it was at his funeral, because I think at the time you were allowed to go to the funeral. I had COVID. That's why I had isolate for 2 weeks during that, so I never even got to go to the funeral or anything.
Oh God! And are you okay? Had you any big side effects of COVID, or just you've had it and that was?
I've had worse colds.
Or worse hangovers. Worse hangovers.
Worse hangovers. But obviously a lot of people have been badly affected by it. I was very lucky. Thank God.
Yeah. Okay, we've 2 more to go. We're getting a bit scattered now. We're going off topic altogether. What is your favorite song to sing?
Favorite song to sing? Robert Palmer, "Addicted to Love." We used to do a cover of that there in the band. I loved singing that song.
With which band? With Streetwise?
No, the Lee Matthews Band.
Oh, okay.
We would do that song at our gigs. I love. I'm a massive fan of 80s music as well.
Yeah,
as
I love that
music,
too.
obviously.
Cheesy, like just cheesiness and like
cheesy.
All about the love and.
Oh, I love it, because 80s was such a happy time. I think, even though I was born in 88, but I kind of grew up, because I grew up in a big house with my uncles and my aunties and my granny and my mum and stuff, and they were all influenced with 80s music. So I would have grew up watching like 80s things, and like things from the 80s, like Knight Rider and all those kind of things, and the music is so synonymous. And it's just basically, it's actually having a revival now at the minute too, when you listen to guys like The Weeknd. And Coldplay's a new song out at the minute, and it sounds completely 80s.
Oh, does it?
So it does, yeah. The brand new song.
I'll have to check that out.
But I love singing that. I love singing that stuff, because it reminds me of like happy memories from when I was really young and hearing those songs on the radio. So that's outside of the country music. Outside of my love for country music, 80s is just it's my hobby.
Very good. And the last one now, I don't know, you're going to struggle to answer this one because we've already found out so much about you. The last question is, tell us something we don't know about you, or a secret or something. But you've told us a lot, so
there's always stuff you never know, isn't there?
Yeah. Is there anything else? Is there anything else you can share with us? But you've gave us a lot.
I don't know. I'm just
Have you any hobbies? Any hobbies that we might know about? Well, like, do you knit in your spare time or sew?
Do you know what I love? I love gaming. I absolutely love gaming. I got a PlayStation 5. Okay. I just got my hands on one last week, and I was madly into my PS4. I love playing FIFA. I love what else do I love doing? Up until the lockdown, I was in the gym 5 days a week, so I love training. But what I've been doing, I've been running out in the roads now over the last year. I go like 3 or 4 times a week. I go runs, so people would see me in like Strabane and stuff. But I usually wear like a hat or a beanie hat or something like that. But people might see me running around if anybody knows me. So I'm always running the roads.
There we go. I'll have to tell my sister to keep an eye out for you. She does.
I know.
She's in Letterkenny, but she does
Oh, I
pop
see.
across. She just pop across to Asda in Strabane.
Oh, they all do that in Letterkenny. They
Oh,
all come over the
my
border for
favorite shop ever is Asda.
yeah.
And it's just, and like I'd be
Nice.
a bit of work because I would film my TV show up in Oma in
Yeah.
Fintona, and I'd be up the north to go bit, and like my highlight of the day, any money I ever make up the north is spent in Asda 2 hours later.
Oh, do you know what? Asda gives me the fear. I swear to God, it's like do you know when there's so many people and they're in there and they're behind you and they're looking to grab stuff.
And is this since COVID or just in general?
In general, shops. I'm just a typical man. I don't like shopping. Do you know what I like shopping? I love going into Asda at about maybe after 8 o'clock at night. I would actually prefer to go at like 1 in the morning when there's nobody about. Just grab my things, throw them in the trolley, and just get out of there as quick as I can.
One question: why? And like, I'm sure I'm not the only Irish person who has this complaint, but why do shops not open till 12 or 1 o'clock in the north?
To 12? Oh, during the day?
Yeah, no, Sundays. You
I don't
land up
understand.
great days shopping, and then everywhere's shut, and it doesn't open till 12 or 1 o'clock.
You know what? I don't get that at all.
It's bad.
I don't get that. And I think they're trying to like lift all those restrictions. I think it's the Sunday thing, isn't it? I think it's due to maybe I don't know, something to do with the religious thing or something like that. I'm not too sure why it's like that. But if it was up to me, they should be open all the time.
Yeah, make more money,
You know what I mean? 24 hours. That was the great thing about America. Whenever I lived over there, everything was open. You could literally get anything at any time of the night.
I say I love Asda, but I love Walmart even more.
Oh, Walmart. Yeah, I actually do like Walmart because everything's bigger and they always have all this stuff. You're like, is this really a thing? You know what I mean? You're like looking at it going.
Yeah, like the bacon, cheese, marshmallow sauce or something random. Oh my God, I just love going to America and just.
And like Lay's bags of crisps, like 20 times bigger than the ones here.
It's I cannot wait to go again. I usually go every year, and please God.
Krispy Kremes. I love getting the Krispy Kremes when I go to America.
Yeah, and in the airport, Joe, obviously everyone going around with the big boxes come home, but they do them now in Ireland, don't they? So it's not. They do them in Dublin.
But it's a good thing, because every time I come back from America, I'm always a stone heavier.
You're not the only one.
So
it's every.
It's definitely a problem, So it's probably a good thing that they've kept all the good stuff over there.
Yeah. Oh, but it's mad when you look at the difference between like, why don't we have that stuff? But even I look at Asda and I'm like, why don't we have that sort of thing down here? Or why is things cheaper off? But anyway, we're getting very deep now. I'm getting very deep asking these sort of questions. So do you know what? I think it's time to call a stop to this interview, because I'm getting like, whoever thought on a country music podcast I'd start discussing why Target and Walmart and Asda have things that SuperValu and Tesco don't.
I know.
Okay. It's time to go and make another cup of tea. Lee, it's been so lovely to chat to you and get to know you a bit better, and hopefully to all our listeners, you have also found out a bit more about Lee Matthews. And sure, if you're ever in Strabane, keep an eye out from either in Tesco after 8 o'clock or running the roads with a beanie on. But Lee, look, you've new songs coming out during the summer, so we look forward to hearing them and your new song at the moment. And of course, people can check you out on your social media, where you're very busy over on your social media.
Very busy. I'm trying to get busier.
Yeah, trying to get busier. So you can go over there and give him a follow and a like, and check out the new song and check him out on YouTube and all that fun stuff. So again, Lee, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate it, and it was great to catch up with you.
Thanks for interviewing me as well. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who over the past maybe 2 years has been still listening to my music. They haven't gone away, and I haven't forgot about you. And that's why I'm coming back out with more music again. So thank you very much for that as well.
No problem, Lee. Thank you. And as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Mind yourselves, stay safe, and I will talk to you soon. Slán.